wanted to show you guys a quick fix for weeds. So you can see my tomatoes here, the weeds have gotten out of control. It's been a busy year, so I'm going to show you a quick fix. So this row here, you can see the cardboard. It did look like these rows. So what I'm doing is I'm walking on the weeds to crimp them down, and then putting cardboard down, and I'm going to put some straw on top of this to hold it down, and it's all going to suppress the weeds. And once you do that, you can see closer to the plants what actually needs to be pulled out. Ideally, you would do this before the weeds grow, but this year has just been a good kind of busy, but busy. So I will show you guys when it's done. Okay, this is that first row. You can see there's a walkway now. I also worked on trellising these tomatoes up a little better. On the posts like this, I just stuck them in there. I just pulled it back all the way so it wouldn't really be squeezing it. Looks like this one broke off probably when I walked through. But on the rest of it, it has the Florida weave. They are getting tall. They're about 5 feet tall at the tallest parts. But this is a quick fix, because I know everyone else is battling weeds right now. So let me know what you think. This method of putting the cardboard and the straw down is also going to help my soil retain moisture so that these tomatoes are not drying out in the summer heat. It's been running 100 degrees in Oklahoma, so definitely needed. I'm probably going to work on about 1 row a day because of this heat. But this second row, it's not nearly as bad. It's mainly needing the tomatoes trellised up. But I'm going to do the same thing here. And then this row here is basically lost in weeds, so definitely need to do some more trellising and get those up. But I am excited to get this done. So I decided I would actually come out here and do this easy row. I went inside and cooled down for a minute and got some water. So what I'm doing is I have this little tool, it got rusted, and some twine. And as I'm going through, I am trellising or tying up the tomatoes. I might as well do it when they're already, getting in my way, and I can just tie them to the post or do more Florida weave if they're ready for that. So I just wanted to show you this next row how we do this. Okay, so I have boxes. These are just from a local store. They let us get boxes from the back. And so what I'm doing is I'm opening them on one side. That way it'll cover more surface area. And then I'm just placing the parts with the wording down like this so that it looks pretty when any of it starts to show through. So this real big piece I'm probably actually going to use up this way, because this is kind of just an open area. I do have a few tomato plants that are not trellised up around this area. Don't necessarily want to cover it. Okay, and I'm just going to work my way down the line. Trellising your tomatoes is important because it keeps the tomatoes aerated to where plenty of airflow can get through so that they're not getting diseases and essentially rotting. Also, you want your tomatoes off the ground because the dirt will make them also rot and get diseases and things, and they don't do good when they're getting plain dirt on them. That's why it's good to mulch around them. If you've never grown tomatoes in this quantity, one thing some people don't know is that tomato plants actually put off a tar, and so when you're working with them, they will turn your hands yellow and your arms. Some people, it actually makes them break out, and so after you deal with tomato plants to this extent, you really want to shower and get all of the tar off of you. This is also a reason why we don't compost tomato plants. We don't want that tar breaking down in our soil. So tomato plants and sunflowers are something that you don't put in your compost. The sunflowers are because they pull all of the heavy metals out of the dirt. So sunflowers can be a big help for cleaning up soil that has had things like oils and things on it. But you don't want to put those in the compost because it's kind of taking everything bad out of the ground. So you wouldn't want that in your soil. I'm going to go grab a few more boxes. I did not have my mic with me, so I just wanted to do a voiceover of this part so you can hear better. I was explaining that I've done kind of an experiment and that my first 2 rows of tomatoes are spread out about a foot and a half apart. And then the second row is 3 feet apart, and we're doing this to find out which is better for us. I've noticed that when I'm harvesting the tomatoes, I'm able to reach from the outsides because one is the first row, so there's room in front of it, and the other one has the bigger row on one side of it. So I haven't really had to get in between them until projects like today. And so I've just been experimenting with if I would rather put them closer together or spread them apart. So I will let you guys know what I decide by the end of the year. My tomatoes have done wonderful this year. I haven't had too much pest damage. Now we do have roly-polies and grasshoppers really putting little bites into the tomatoes, but overall the plants are healthy. And we're still getting plenty out of the tomato plants. We've put up salsa, barbecue sauce, ketchup, all kinds of stuff we've been able to get out of the garden and out of all the hard work that we've done. I ended up just putting them out here even though I didn't have trellises. They're actually doing good. A lot of them grew like sideways and then up over in the other garden. But they're still producing. And they're not having any disease or anything. You just gotta mulch underneath them so that when you water, you're not spraying the dirt on them. You don't want to use this shiny cardboard. We just ended up with some of it when we got these boxes. You just want to use brown. I do leave the tape and stuff. As it breaks down, you'll find the pieces of tape in your dirt, and I just pull them out then. On this day, it's 92 degrees outside, so it's definitely a sweat and blood kind of situation. But I'm glad that I got it done. I know everyone else is dealing with heat and weeds right now. It's hard to get out there when everything else is going on, and it's too hot during the day, so you have to do it early or late. I don't want to get any water on my plants and burn them. one down there, and then I'll start getting some straw. The weeds as a cover crop, I'm just crimping them down with my feet and putting the cardboard on top of them, and then they're going to break down and they'll feed the soil for me. The good thing is my straw is really close. I actually got this straw off Marketplace. There was a man that was putting the straw around his RV to keep the heat during the winter, and it had just gotten old and was kind of falling apart, so he wanted to get rid of it while it could still kind of be transported without falling apart. So that was really nice. We definitely got use out of it. We've grown the potatoes in it, the tomatoes. We used it for our dog, chickens. But it definitely got put to use. I love doing work like this. I like going outside and just putting in a days of hard work. It just feels like such a success when there's a big project outside that's neat and done and you're able to accomplish it. I don't get to do this every day, but on the days I do, it is time well spent. Earlier this day, I worked on moving some plants around in the garden. I had a lettuce bed that was doing really well and another one that was struggling. So what I did is I decided to just transplant those struggling ones over to the good bed. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I think they're going to do a lot better. It's a little more of a shaded area, and I think clearly it has better soil than my struggling lettuce bed. Like I mentioned before, this year has been a bit busy. It was a good busy, but it was very busy, and I know that, you know, most homesteaders still have jobs, have families, have all these other priorities. So I just want to remind you that it's okay to get behind on weeds in the garden. Your plants will still grow. You know, if you have, you know, shorter plants, you want to stay on those a little bit better. But tomatoes, they're vigorous. They're going to take over the weeds. So don't feel bad, but if you have gotten behind, go get you some cardboard and lay it out. You can use whatever kind of mulch you have on top of the cardboard. And if you don't have a type of mulch, you can actually just do a couple layers of the cardboard and wet it down, and it will stick to the ground. And it will stay in place for the most part until you can get some type of mulch to put on top. Now the good thing is these walkways next year, they will probably end up being the rows of plants. I won't put my tomatoes here again. But all of this, the weeds and the straw and the cardboard are all going to break down and feed the soil right there in the middle of the walkways. That way I can plant in those parts next year. Pretty good for plants you thought died. But there we go, 2 rows down. Sometime this week I'll work on the rest, and I'll take y'all along. Thank you.